Learn from the last time. What is that? Learning from the last time is knowing how to gain from your past mistakes. If you have a lot of past mistakes to draw from, the greater the reward. So we're going to pick up where we left off last time. Over in Ephesians chapter 5, we used three examples of mistakes. We talked about fornication, uncleanliness, and covetousness. Ephesians 5, verse 5 starts out saying, "For you know fornication, uncleanliness, and covetousness shall not inherit the kingdom of God nor of Christ." It also says that those three things is idolatry. Idolatry is something that a person does when they take God off the throne and put his creation up on the throne. And so it says that for we know, but everybody knows something different in pertaining to their personality or their gifts. But that kind of know in that verse is describing the knowing that takes place in our spirit man. That knowing that takes place in our spirit man has been with us since birth. Can you imagine that? It's kind of like we walking around with a recorder in us, recording all of our life experiences. It's always there, it's always aware. So over in Jeremiah, the first chapter, the 5th verse, what did God say? Before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. That's how God knows us, is through our spirit man. 1 Corinthians, the 2nd chapter, it says, "What man knows the things of a man except the spirit of man in him? Even so, the things of God knoweth no man." Okay, so we have to think about what's in our spirit man. The role of the spirit man in relation to the knowing is the intuitiveness. That's the truth that has been developed in our spirit man over our lifetime. That truth within our spirit man tells our conscience what's good and what's bad. And so that good and bad in our conscience, it regulates what we're doing externally. So if that conscience is giving us the thumbs up, it's okay to do that and not that. It's our intuitiveness, our knowing part of our spirit is telling us that's okay. So if we have been under a certain leadership that has been telling us good is bad and bad is good in relation to what God is telling us, we will be fornicating, uncleanliness, and covetousness. All of those are idolatry. It removes God off the throne as relates to the spirit man. And so you think it goes against God commandments. It goes against loving God, loving your neighbor as yourself. Because you can see the covetousness. Look at Cain. Cain was jealous. He wanted the reward. He wanted to be exalted like his brother Abel. And so the Lord told him if he was doing well and not wrong, he didn't have sin in his heart, that he would have got exalted, but his brother did. So he went and killed his brother because his brother's gift got exalted. That's not loving God, because God was there. God accepted the gift. And so he was jealous of the exaltation that was from God, because our grace is not of our works, least we should boast. Him and Cain both was born with their own gifts. Cain was born with a farmer's gift, and Abel was born with Cain was born with gardening, and Abel was born with farming. And so he did not like that the Lord exalted his brother Abel. So that's covetousness. Then you have the uncleanness. We talked about Peter and David yesterday, how Peter seen his uncleanness in prayer. His uncleanness was a lack of love for his brethren. And he didn't know what the Lord was telling him when the Lord was showing him the unclean animals. But the culture that was coming to him to ask him to pray for his household was that culture. But Peter received what the Lord was saying and went with the other guy, the centurion, and prayed for his family. His whole household was saved. So when we don't love our brother, when we think we're better than our brethren, we are walking in uncleanliness. And the last one is fornication. And we know Esau was called a fornicator. Why? Because he gave over his birthright. He came home, he was tired, he was hungry, and his brother had a nice warm bowl of food waiting for him. What did he do? He said, "What is this birthright to me?" And he gave it over to his brother for some warm food. And so he didn't love himself. So loving God, loving your neighbor as yourself. So we need to keep God on the throne. So it says those things, people that practice idolatry. So we see the root of the mistakes, taking God off the throne in every area of our lives, as it relates to gifts, as it relates to righteousness, which is our brother, the position that we have, coveting and wanting what our brothers have, and simple fact, appreciating what we have, the birthright and the blessings. So that's where the mistakes generate from. And so for you know that idolatry shall not inherit. See the gain? See when you find out what a problem or mistake is stemming from. It allows you to access. It says they shall not inherit. What's an heir? What's an inheritance? Is something, an abundance left behind from someone passed away. So when a person is operating in their old man, that old person, that person is supposed to be dead at the cross, is operating and is stealing their inheritance that God has sent to us and given to us by way of the cross. So it says, they shall not inherit the kingdom of Christ. What is Christ? It's what you were put here to do. That unction in your spirit, sometimes you could see it and you know things you haven't went to school for it. You just know it. You're drawn to it. It's easier to do. That unction, that good part of you is being buried, just like it's in the grave. It says that you know that idolatry, uncleanliness, covetousness, fornication shall not inherit the kingdom of God. What is the kingdom of God versus the kingdom of Christ? The kingdom of God talks about increase. Over in Mark, the 4th chapter, is talking about different types of hearts. And when you get past that level that you're at, it goes 30, it goes 60, and 100-fold. When you get past lies, which is where the fowls of the air is stealing from you, is stealing the truth, that truth that's supposed to be in your spirit man. Then it talks about the next heart, that a heart that's offended. When you get past of being offended, you're happy at first, then afflictions or persecution arise, comes and rob you, and you can't produce. You can't be that tree that standeth by the water, that's over in Psalms, that brings forth fruit. And then the last part is, that's relationships. It talks about the thorns, how the thorns rise up and choke and choke. So there again,